A tradition unlike any other in college baseball. College baseball done better. I am your host, Greg Larnerd, alongside my co-host, who's this way to my right today, Johnny VTV. We're keeping it very classy. We're keeping the energy at moderate levels. As they say in baseball, Johnny, you can never get too high and you can never get too low. You got to stay even keel when it comes to baseball, and it is Masters Week, so we've got an even keeled tone to college baseball done better. What's up, my friend?
Maybe that's for you, but when it comes to betting, I'm the farthest thing from even keel. I'm very high or very low. Mentally, it is a tax on me, if you will. I almost got an ulcer last night watching the Vanderbilt game, trying to close it out when they were up 7-2 and proceed to give up 4 runs in the bottom of the eighth. It was a really difficult one, and I'm sweating a couple out already to noon. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. We got a bunch of games to talk about. We're going to run through them if you're new to college baseball done better. We're two guys that just like talking about college baseball. Johnny's going to handle the betting side of things. I'm just going to kind of tee him up, and we're going to rock and roll through it. And hopefully at the end of the day, and as we get into Good Friday here and then Easter weekend, we can give you a little extra money to head into Easter weekend as well. That's our goal every single show here on College Baseball Done Better. Johnny, I want to start with my home state here of Tennessee. Very disappointed once again last night that Dollander can't go out there and can't get it done. Look, I get it. It's Florida. They're a fantastic offense. What are they? The number 2 team in the country. Yet we go into Friday and we've got Chase Burns on the mound. He's been doo-doo McPoo-poo in 3 straight SEC starts, but somehow the Tennessee Volunteers are still favored in this game. Watching them, they're not a good fundamental team. They don't field the throw and catch the baseball very well. Their base running is suspect at best. And then everything that we've known about this team going into this season was everything we were supposed to say was that the pitching's going to carry us. Pitching hasn't carried Tennessee. I don't know how they're favored right now. What do you think about this game?
Yeah. All right. So let's get this out of the way. I backed Tennessee last night on my card at -145 because I'm like, okay, this is a must-win for Tennessee in terms of the series, and they have to get off to a hot start. Brandon Sproat was due for a bounce back after an absolutely garbage outing against Auburn last week. And
are you Italian?
Yeah.
Oh,
could you tell?
Yeah, that was curious.
So he delivered, but Dolly, I don't think pitched bad. Chase Dollander was fine. He got hosed with an error from Blake Burke, his 8th of the year, that led to an unearned run early that really probably contributed like another 15, 20 pitches to his pitch count. And he was settling in the 3rd inning, struck out the side, and he walked a couple batters. He gave up a couple seeing eye singles. And ultimately, his line looks a lot worse than I think he actually pitched. He was a little off on some location later in the game, and kind of a Jack Caglione 2-strike base hit down the line that brought Wyatt Langford in that knocked him out. I don't think Dollander pitched bad at all. I just don't think he has not been the guy that we've been expecting. So I was kind of expecting him to come out and dot 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, vintage Chase D. We didn't see that from him. So I think ultimately right now, the way this team's going, they're not hitting the ball particularly well. They're fielding brutal. They look like the White Sox from last year on the field. Base running, not really sharp. This team is just not something that you can count on right now. So Florida, to me, would be the play. There's nothing official on my side here, but Florida at +110. You got Hurston Waldrop on the mound, who I think is a top 3, top 4 arm off the board in July. Really good strikeout stuff. Him and Chase Burns are actually a lot alike. He does have some trouble with control every now and then, but at the end of the day, the tiebreaker is going to go to the Florida offense because Florida's scoring right now. Florida can score in a hurry. Tennessee can't. So as good as Tennessee's bullpen is and as much of an advantage as it gets over Florida's, it doesn't matter if you're down 6-1. If you can't score, it's not going to be a point. So I think right now Florida, I would take them. And if you're looking at Tennessee to salvage the series tomorrow with Drew Beam on the mound against Jack Caglione, I think maybe we could talk about that, but today I don't think so.
All right, let's stay in the state of Florida and let's go to number 20, Miami, Jared. Let's pull that one up. They're +180 right now, visiting number 7, Virginia, who's the favorite in this one, as obviously they're the home team. What do you like about this one?
So this was bizarre because DraftKings hung this game yesterday. I believe they probably thought the series started on Thursday, as a lot did this week. So Miami was like minus or plus 160, 165 to Virginia's 175, 180. Now today, obviously you could see that is a much different line for game one. And I'm on Miami here. I think Miami takes the series. They are starting Gage Zeal tonight, not Carson Ligon like I thought it would be, but Zeal's been very good. He's had 4 strong outings in a row. He's finally found his rhythm. The punchies are coming back to him, the power stuff. And I think ultimately here, the reason why I like them over Virginia is because I wouldn't lay the Cavaliers at minus 220. The pitching advantage still probably goes slightly in favor of UVA tonight because their best guy, Brian Edgington, who's been awesome, he's their one big piece as a pitcher. This UVA bullpen is shady. It really reared its head against the Virginia Tech series last week. Their offense is really carried by 2 guys, Kyle Teal, who's probably the top catcher in the class, and Jake Geloff, younger brother of Zach Geloff for the Oakland A's. I think ultimately, though, Miami plus 180 is just too good of a price to pass up here, and I would expect the Hurricanes to take the series. I think Virginia is very overrated.
All right, let's go to the beautiful state of North Carolina next. And we were talking about that off the air, that there are so many incredible schools and stadiums in North and South Carolina. In the Carolinas, I mean, we could spend 2 weeks there just touring around the different stadiums, and maybe we should try to do that next year. NC State, the underdog at plus 160 at number 2, Wake Forest. I know you love the Demon Deacons. Tell me a little bit about this matchup.
So this game actually got postponed. Wake Forest was the best bet on my card today. They were in a couple parlays. You know, you got Rhett Lauder on a Friday night. He might be a top 10 pick this year. He's probably been the third best arm, second best arm, arguably in the country this year. Just a model of consistency. He's got an unbelievable changeup that he throws like 38% of the time. He gets a lot of outs with it. So I think the way Wake Forest is playing right now, they're just running through everybody. I would be a Demon Deacons guy. I hope this line doesn't get too far out tomorrow for game one. I'm hoping it's not like Wake Forest minus 215, 220 when we wake up tomorrow morning. But highlighting this series, I do think Wake Forest should take at least 2, take the series, possibly sweep again, and that would be a good start for Demon Deacons to get off to one in game one of Saturday afternoon.
All right, let me talk to the Better Sports fans here for a second. You can have the Better Sports Network newsletter emailed to you every single day, fans. The only place to do it and get it are daily Better Bet, plus exclusive offers, program alerts, special events, and our top moments. Subscribe to the newsletter, the daily newsletter from the Better Sports Network. Register for free right now at bettersports.com. And don't forget, if you want to follow us on Twitter, hit us up there at Better Network as well, and on social media, all the good stuff. All right, let's get back into the games here, Johnny, and let's go to number 9, Boston College. They're underdogs, actually, at Louisville this week. They're a top 25 team as well. They're at number 18. It's plus 130 to Boston College. Do you like the underdogs here, or do you like the favorites at home?
One of the most profitable betting strategies in all of college baseball is backing Boston College in game 2 when Chris Flynn is on the mound. Chris Flynn is the best pitcher for Boston College, but like some teams, they save their best guy for game 2. There's certain science behind why they do it, but in the case for the Eagles, this is what they do, and backing him has been it's been a revelation. And the best part is, the books haven't caught up to it. The Eagles are an underdog every single time he's on the mound. Only Paul Skeens arguably has been better than Chris Flynn. Arguably. Maybe Rhett Lauder, but Chris Flynn is probably on top 3 list of best pitchers in the country for 2023 in terms of overall performance. This guy has been awesome. His ERA is a bloated 1.76 because he got beat up by NC State a couple weeks ago. That's a bloated 1.76. He was flirting with a 0.8 before that. And ultimately here, after yesterday's close loss against Louisville, who I don't really think is that good, I think the Eagles come out even the series. And the reason I believe that today, and I love the price for it, is because tomorrow, the Louisville's got a big edge with their Sunday guy. Carson Liggett has been one of the best Sunday guys in college baseball. He's got a 6-0 record. He's got a sub-2 ERA. The kid's pitching lights out. So if Boston College is going to take one, it has to be today. I think Chris Flynn is a no-brainer. It's a no-doubter. Boston College is going to come out and absolutely dot him up.
Dude, how about the Golden Eagles? They're 21-7 so far this year, having a really good season. Last year, they were 19-34. I mean, they've played some really good baseball this year. And as you mentioned, Chris Flynn has been an absolute revelation for that team and that pitching staff, and has really been a steadying ship for them. And that bloated what was it? 1.76 ERA. Oh, get out of here, dude. He is, as you like to say, dotting them up and punching them out left and right. So, yeah, that's a great play for today for Boston College, and they've had a big-time bounce-back season this year. Let's talk about a team in my state here in Tennessee that has been really, really good this year. They've had a really good, program with Tim Corbin, and they're one of the most highly touted programs in the country when it comes to baseball. Number 4, Vanderbilt. They're going on the road to a scrappy Missouri team. I know you were sweating out Vandy last night. They're at -240, though, opening up here in game 2. Missouri, the underdog at home. Talk to me about this matchup.
I just want to first start off by saying I hate Mizzou. I can't stand them. They're a bunch of pain in the asses, and they live to always try and make my life a nightmare, because they win games they shouldn't be winning, and they have to always make it a contest when they have no business even being in that contest. But let's first start off by saying Vanderbilt did come home last night. That was along with Arkansas, who got postponed. Surprise. That was the best bet of the day. And it was already, before the game started, a nightmare, because Carter Holton was a big reason why I love Vanderbilt yesterday. Carter Holton is the ace for Vanderbilt. He's pitched awesome this year. He's got like a 2.5 ERA. The kid's just been nails. He experienced some stiffness, and he was a late scratch. They went with Bryce Cunningham. But now today they have Hunter Owen, their Saturday guy, lefty as well, who's been pretty good this year. So I think Vanderbilt is another play that I would back today, but not at 240. I would throw them in a money line parlay. I think they're a strong leg this afternoon. And I think ultimately here, the one thing that does worry me about the Commodores is they use a lot of bullpen arms. They used Nick Maldonado last night to lock that first game down. So I highly doubt he's available this evening. And I think ultimately Vanderbilt will come out on top. I might look at backing Mizzou tomorrow, though, with Chandler Murphy. They're Mizzou's best pitcher. The Commodores, as great as they're playing, they're 10-0 in SEC play right now. They're on like a 12, 13-game win streak off the top of my head. At some point you got to lose. And I think if they're going to lose one, it's going to be tomorrow with Mizzou at plus, 200, 205, whatever the price is, with Chandler Murphy having the ball.
All right, let me see if I can find that winning streak that they're on for you real quick. They're on a 13-game winning streak. You were real close to that. They've been rolling. They've been playing some good baseball. Tim Corbin's got them going out there. The Vandy boys are back, dude. I got a chance to see. Speaking of Vanderbilt, dude, I got a chance to see a couple years ago when I first moved down here. Jack Leiter pitch at home against Georgia, dude. Oh, it was explosive. And then I got to see. Yeah. And then I got to see Kumar Rocker throw against Tennessee on like a Friday night game. Amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah. I mean, Kumar Rocker, Jack Leiter has got to be up there with one of the best 1-2 college combinations of not only the decade, but maybe all time.
And now they're teammates with the Texas Rangers and the Texas Rangers organization. So
go figure.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We got a couple of more games that I want to get to. Let's go to number 5, Arkansas, who's a road favorite at Ole Miss. Slight favorite. It seems like more of a bit of a pick 'em here. And I know you've been very down on Ole Miss, and the books seem to just say, hey, they're the College World Series champs from last year, so we're going to continue to believe in them. So talk to me about this one.
Yeah, so this was my best play of the day yesterday. This game got postponed, and they're playing a doubleheader today. This game 1, actually starts, I think, in 25 minutes at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. Game 2 is like 7:30. So the big reason why I liked Arkansas in game 1 is because they have Hunter Holland going, who has slid to the front into the number 1 role with their best pitcher, Hagen Smith, being a utility guy. So ultimately here, Holland was coming off a bad start against Alabama. 4 innings, 7 runs. Number one, he's due for a bounce back. Number two, Ole Miss has struggled with lefty pitching. It's been a problem. So when they got swept by Vanderbilt a few weeks ago, Vanderbilt is one of, if not the only team in the entire nation that deploys an all-lefty starting rotation. It's very rare. So all of the starters for Vandy combined for 4 runs allowed, 11 hits in only 20 innings against this Ole Miss Rebels team. They had a lot of problems with it, so I think that ultimately will carry over. Hunter Holland is a good arm. He shut down the LSU lineup a few weeks ago, so I think that would carry over. Arkansas to me should be more like minus 145, minus 150. It was 115 apiece yesterday, so the book adjusted a little bit, but the other thing is Ole Miss is throwing Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty is not a Friday guy. He's only forced to be a Friday guy because of injuries to the Ole Miss pitching. He's sporting a 5.8 ERA right now. I just think it screams Arkansas in game 1. Game 2, not really sure. Don't have a read yet because I don't know who's pitching for the Razorbacks, but that's why I think it's important that we hammer game 1 for Arkansas.
All right, so we like Arkansas there in that one, especially in game 1, and we'll see about game number 2. Probably follow along with you on Twitter to figure out what you like there, maybe in game 2.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes first. Will McIntyre has been the guy who throws the game 2s, throws the Saturdays roll. He has the flu, so we're not sure if he's even going to go right now. And I got to be honest, he hasn't been good anyway. So that's kind of like a toss-up.
Might be better anyways. All right, let's roll on to the next game. Number 16, Oklahoma State. The Cowboys are rolling over to TCU, one of the more storied baseball programs around the country as well. They're unranked. This game, sort of like the one we just talked about, a little bit of a toss-up right now. Oklahoma State, as you see, minus 125, TCU minus 105. Talk to us about this one, Johnny VTV.
So we brought home Oklahoma State money line yesterday. They threw Carson Benji, who is not their best guy. They managed to pull it out 7-6 in a tight, old-fashioned Big 12 throwdown. I think today this is the game I was looking for. It was the series handicap that I had that Oklahoma State takes games 1 and 2. And if they manage to take game 1, I love them even more in game 2 because they have their best guy throwing. Typical like Boston College. The Cowboys save their best arm for game 2. That is Warron Watts-Brown, the transfer from Long Beach State. He's coming off like 8 innings, 12 punchies against a red-hot Texas team last week, which the Cowboys took the series from the Longhorns. I think this is also, like Arkansas, something that should be more in the minus 145, minus 150, maybe even 160 range. We're getting a very generous price here with the Oklahoma State Cowboys as the favorite. I think Ron Watts-Brown, JWB, comes out, absolutely dots this TCU lineup that has just been so underwhelming. Like Braden Taylor, Elijah Nunez, like what are we doing? This TCU pitching has been brutal as well. So I really think that the Cowboys are an absolute smash spot today to take the series.
Absolute smash spot. I love that. All right, let's go to our last game at Washington. It's a matchup of 2 unranked teams. Washington is on the road. They're plus 135 at Arizona.
Yep, same kind of thing that I handicapped for the Oklahoma State TCU series. Washington, when I gave out Washington at plus 165 yesterday with their second best guy, Stu Flensland III. He was solid. Against an Arizona team that is in an absolute free fall. Their projected ace, the guy who actually hasn't had a great start, even a good start since the first one against Tennessee on the opening night at the Desert Invitational in February. TJ Nichols, he's been getting battered. He's got an over 7.70 ERA. He's out of the rotation at least for this weekend. And this is not really a good position if you're the Arizona Wildcats. So them being this big of a favorite, even at home, doesn't make sense to me. And the big reason why I loved Washington in game 2 tonight at plus 135, even though it came down from last night, is because they got my guy pitching. Chief Kiefer Lord Sosa. In theory, it's Sosa Saturday, even though it's technically Friday. Baby. So Kiefer Lord, he wasn't great against Oregon State last week. It's like 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 4 runs, but he's really good against UCLA. He should be able to handle this Arizona lineup that is just not good. And quite frankly, I think Washington should take the series. It should be a comfortable win with Lord throwing because this kid is the real deal, dude. He's got 98, 99, 100 in the tank. He's got a 12.6 curveball. He has pretty good command, and I think we're going to see it rear its head. So Washington being plus 135, being this big of an underdog, doesn't make sense to me. But the book is trending in the right direction with seeing how Lord is pitching today, Washington coming off a win yesterday, and they're come down from 165 to 135. It's still definitely a good number for me to take the Huskies.
Still some good money for the Huskies there. Now, I took the liberty of writing down the underdog counter, the underdog meter, and seeing how many teams that you chose that were underdogs. And you liked 4 of them technically that were underdogs. Miami at plus 180, BC at plus 130, Florida at plus 35, wins in.
I
I know I'm
would
putting you on the
probably
spot
say
a
my
little bit.
confidence
I
meter.
just thought this might be fun.
I mean, I'm going to go with the pitching. I'll probably say my confidence level would be Boston College 1, Miami 2, Washington 3. And who was the fourth one?
Florida.
Florida. I would say Florida is like a 3A. Like I think Florida has a good chance, but at any given moment, like Herson Waldrop can go out there, give up 5 runs over 5 innings and strike out 12. Like that's what he's capable of. So maybe Tennessee, is a little motivated after getting their asses kicked last night, and they come out. So Florida to me would be at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, you have to imagine your Italian brother Tony V had to light a fire under their asses after that game last night because they just haven't been playing prototypical Tennessee baseball. It's been tough to watch, but how do you handle these underdogs? So when you typically go to bet these games and you talk about these 4 teams specifically that are underdogs that you like, are you somebody that likes to parlay all of them together to see if it'll all hit and then go, hey, I'm going to bet them separately? Or do you like to just bet them each on their own?
So that's a good question. So what I typically like to do, especially with a team like Miami at plus 180 today, I'd like to take them straight, get a little bit on them, and then, I have a couple long shot underdog parlays that I threw a little bit on, a little sprinkle. That's pretty much what I'll do. If I have one of those parlays that I'm putting like $300-400 on that I want to hit big, I'm not going to do anything that I'm not pretty much 100% confident in. So there will be those parlays where I'll do like, Miami, maybe Boston College, Texas, Vanderbilt for 50, try and hit one of those. But, typically for those plays, unless you're doing that strategy where you're just sprinkling little parlay underdogs, you're better off playing them straight. Because if you're playing 4 underdogs, chances are maybe only 2 of them are going to hit. But if you're hitting 2 of them, if you're hitting Miami at plus 180 and Boston College at plus 130, 35, you're going to get some pretty good coin, and you're not going to pay a vig on it, and you're going to get a nice plus money hit. So that's typically the best strategy.
So, would you think to say, all right, let me take, like, I think you said, let me take like maybe one underdog. If you love Miami at plus 180, you parlay them with a couple of favorites. And then it's like, okay, we get our juice a little bit higher there
Yeah.
because we've thrown it. Okay.
That is probably one of the most realistic strategies that I would tell people. Like, for instance, today, Texas, Wake Forest, Texas were like joined at the hip for me, but Wake Forest is postponed, which really pisses me off. But in any case, so today, for instance, maybe like Texas, Vanderbilt, I like Kentucky, and then you throw like a Boston College or a Wake Forest in the parlay, or like Arkansas, Texas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and then a Miami or a Boston College, something for like $50, something little, get a little skin in the game, that kind of thing.
Yeah, make the weekend a little more holy than it already is, hopefully, for everybody. Before we get out of here, I did want to ask you just do you have a favorite Easter memory? You guys got any big plans for this weekend in terms of Easter? Do you guys do anything specifically, or do you have a favorite memory from when you were a kid? Little Johnny VTV?
Little Johnny VTV. Honestly, no. I barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone, past Easters. I think I spent a lot of Easters with my mom. So typically, like, we go down to like my aunt's house, my grandmother, cousins, all that. And nobody in my family really likes sports. So I typically always have a fight with like watching live sporting events. And, Easter, a lot of the times, the NBA is wrapping up regular season, or like the playoffs are just starting. So put a little something on there, or if you got a good baseball game going on. So, probably the last like 4 or 5 Easters, I've been like really just like having bets going in some form or another. in typical fashion, like I just don't talk to anybody and I just watch the games because like I can't focus on those two things at once. It doesn't mesh well with me.
No, it's a lot. I would say the one thing that stands out to me from Easter's past when I was the little G was we would always we'd go to my great grandmother's house, make a big old brunch and things like that. And then all my siblings and our cousins, we'd go out there and they'd have a big old Easter egg hunt. We'd each have different color eggs. We'd be scrambling around the backyard, find a couple of bucks in the Easter eggs, maybe some candy, whatnot. So that was probably one of my best memories from being around the family. But I'm excited about it. It'll be a good Easter. My parents will be in town, so I'm excited to see them on Sunday. My girl's best friend's coming into town. Easter's like their thing. So we got a full house this weekend.
Gee, I can only imagine. It's probably like chaos. Can I come actually? Do I get the invite?
Bro, come on.
Dude, I want to. All right, seriously though, we're gonna do this. I want to come down to Tennessee at some point. I really would love to catch a series, whether that's in Nashville or like I really want to go to Knoxville just to do that whole thing. But I know Nashville's sick, dude. I went to Nashville last year. It's awesome. So hopefully, maybe we could catch like a Tennessee Vandy series. Is it in Nashville this year?
Let me see. I got the Vandy schedule pulled up still. Let me see where we're at with that matchup between Tennessee and Vanderbilt. That one, it's going to be in Knoxville.
Okay.
It's going to be in Knoxville end of the month, April 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
Give me Vandy's schedule in May.
In May. Let's see.
Like, give me this year. Like, are they home? Give me the series. Like, who they got.
They are away for the beginning of it. Then they're home middle of May, 18th, 19th, 20th against Arkansas.
It's a good series.
And that's it. And then they go to the SEC tournament.
All right, so maybe that Arkansas tournament, and we'll hit up my boy Matt Grissom, see if he can make it up. And we'll have ourselves a little party, and we can bet in Tennessee too.
So you certainly can. You certainly can.
Woo!
Hell yeah!
Don't mind if I do.
Oh, yo, if you want to make a trip next weekend up to Knoxville or down to Knoxville from where you're at, my select baseball team, 11U team, is going to be in a tournament around that area. Come be my assistant coach. We'll catch a game afterwards.
I yell at kids.
That's okay. Totally they're 11. Kidding. They can take it. They're tough. I yell at them too.
No, it's tough love though. It's tough. I'm kidding. I'm cool with that. Listen, I'm assistant coach. Like I coached like when I was 20. I want to say like 22, maybe. I was like I might have still been in college, or I might have just been out of college. I don't really remember. But me and my buddy, we coached this a bunch of like 10-year-old basketball team. I was like, I envision myself coming in like Coach Carter, just getting everybody, whipping them into shape, and we're making a run for the title, that kind of thing. It didn't really happen that way, but I was always kind of hoping that it would be something along those lines.
All right, well, for Johnny VTV, for Jared Moore behind the scenes, I'm Greg Larnerd. Appreciate you, Jared, for pushing the buttons and keeping us rolling. Johnny, enjoy your Easter. Have a great weekend, my man. Hopefully we can make a little money this weekend. I'm actually going to take your advice on some of these. I'm actually going to make some bets. I'm putting some college baseball bets in this weekend just for you, just because it's holy and it's Easter Sunday. We're going to make some things happen.
I love it, bro. Let's get some money, and thanks for your time, man. You know what? Have a happy Easter, and we'll talk next week.
Words are hard sometimes, brother. This has been College Baseball Done Better on the Better Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.